I didn't. It was those guys, and there's no gray area whatsoever. This was 100%. Those guys wanting to be part of something that they created. Um, and we kind of waxed poetic about the team and the community that they've become, and I think this is a great example of what it means to them, and it's 100% those men who made that decision that they all wanted to continue to try to win together.
How, when you're leaving the ice a couple weeks ago, after you guys went in again, I know you're not thinking about it really in that moment, but how likely would
It might have been.
Might have been, actually.
No.
How likely would it have been Sam for 8, Aaron for 8, Brad for 6? Like, if someone had said that's how this is gonna play out, would you have even believed it at that moment?
Yeah, because I have the privilege of being around it all the time, and I don't want to spoil the Hollywood part of it, but I believe in all of them, and that if you're around it all the time, you feel it and you know it, and you know that everybody. This is a special group of people. It's a special environment, and that these three guys in particular understand and value and appreciate the opportunity, even though they're significant contributors to it on their own. I think that they're aware that they make the group better and the group makes them better. We maybe go back to the wolf in the pack type thing. But I think anyone who's around it knows that the folks, maybe that's one of the reasons it's so special, because the people who are in it appreciate it while they're in it. And so it's a long-winded explanation of yes.
It's no secret that all those guys want to be here, but Aaron, as we, before the Stanley Cup, I was talking about how he just lives and bleeds for the Panthers. He just wants to be here forever. He's already been here 11 years now. He's got 8 more. It's rare to kind of find guys that can spend that much time with one team. So what were those conversations like with him, and just what do you think this means for him, just to be able to say, I'm a Panther for life?
I think it's special for Aaron because this is his home, and he created this. He was here early. He stayed on through the transition. He was a part of the solution, and then he continued to elevate himself as a player, as a leader in the room, as in his where he is in the community that is the room. And then for the Panthers, it's a big statement to be able to keep someone for that long, and particularly a guy of his character, his personality, what he does for everybody, the community. It's a big deal, and it was special. It was very nice.
Now, I know they're separate entities, but what does it mean to keep Gus and Aaron together for such a long time?
Yeah, it's great, and I think even if you take hockey out of it, just on the friendship and relationship level, it's great. And from a hockey standpoint, self-interested, it's even better. But to keep the chemistry going and to know that, okay, the core is there, and it's not always going to be great. We're not always going to win it every year. So when those down times, that's when I really feel the strength of that, the resilience of the group will come out. And Aaron plays a significant role in that.
You've got obviously these contracts. This core are under contract for the next 7-ish years. They were taking on the contract. Obviously, that'll take a lot of them through into their mid 30s, late 30s. In Brad's case, 43. Just how do you balance the immediacy of keeping this core, the Stanley Cup winning core, together for now with potential, long-term effects?
Well, it's a constant equation, and of course, when you look at the temporal scope of those contracts, sooner is better than later, right? But I think the way that people take care of themselves today, a little bit more longevity in the athletes, and then constantly thinking and running the what-if scenarios that we do, and the guys down the hall have been doing for years, months, weeks, minutes. It's a nonstop process of what ifs. Okay, if this happens, what are we going to do? So I can't tell you that there is a specific blueprint drawn, but there's a plan as to if we need a blueprint, where do we go? So,
So obviously, fans were hopeful and excited that these three would be able to come back. But when you get to either have that face-to-face conversation with head coach Paul Maurice or make that call and let him know, hey, these are the ingredients you get to keep working with, what was his reaction?
I think he and Marcy were both fishing. No, everybody was really pleased. I don't think anyone was shocked, but everyone was just sincerely happy. And as I referred to earlier, if you're in it, you sort of feel the pulse of the group, and sort of, I don't think anyone was really surprised, but everyone was very happy that we can continue to try to grow together.
Fishing together?
No. Marcy's in Halifax and Paul's in the woods in Canada.
Bill, with Brad Marchand in particular, obviously you knew he could help this team because you traded for him. But it feels like he's been a Panther for years versus just a couple of months. What stood out to you about just the way he so seamlessly fit in with this team, and especially that chemistry that he developed so quickly with Lundell and Luosterainen?
The same things that you noticed, that personality, and probably you all have a familiarity or feel a familiarity with him as well. So you can sense his personality. He has just fantastic EQ as well as IQ, and he fits right in with the group. So yeah, it was rather seamless, and that was a big part, I think, of our success, because it's really hard to come in from the outside. And sometimes it's just change alone that makes it difficult. But he came in and he integrated as a teammate, as a player, as a line mate, socially, as just as a friend and as a guy. And it was fun to be a part of.
How good do you feel about, I mean, obviously GMs in every sport, you have plan for today, the plan for tomorrow, next year, the year after that, the year after that. How good do you feel about the vision going forward when you have so much of a core locked up for so long, and you'll have some money, next summer to play with as well?
You feel, you hate to use the word content, but content in the moment where, okay, we've got this, our core, they're solid. Are people going to get hurt? Yeah. Do we have, can we address that? Yeah. How do we get better? And how do we allow for some of the other players and the other assets, if they're ready, to get in? So it's this constant, I think almost any GM would tell you the same, that it's a constant cycle of thoughts in your head. In the middle of the night, when you're driving, when you get distracted, what about this? What about that? What about this? So it doesn't really change. It's just maybe more comforting to know, okay, well, we have some pretty good players who are going to be here for a while, and good people. So as we add moving in the future, I feel pretty confident that this group can absorb them and get the most out of them.
In that vein, you've got, I believe it's 10 guys signed through 2030, all signed for long-term. Does that help you enjoy the moment while also looking ahead? I mean, you know what I mean? That these guys are here and...
Yeah, in a weird way, it makes me proud of them. That these guys have managed to find a way to not only achieve in their sport, but as people have found a way to do it together and yet stay together in an environment that's really, really hard. And they did it. And so it's really special to be a part of.
I know no one likes to toot their own horn. I'm sure George thinks...
Marshy? No, I'm kidding.
I'm sure George
No.
thinks, he's great at his job. Mike thinks he's great at his job. Myself. But do you think you're possibly the best GM in all of sports? That you've ever been?
No.
Zito for Prez.
No. Like what happened yesterday wasn't me. It wasn't. It could have been one of you guys who just sat in the chair, and it was those guys. They made the decision. And I don't know. A piece of me thinks they made it a long, long time ago. And they're like, yeah, we'll just kind of wait. But it was those guys who decided they wanted to be part of this. Let's make it work. sincerely, 100%. So
You are staring the ship.
I think I got lucky sitting in the chair, and no, it's those guys in the group, and every member of that team that helped contribute to the environment that those guys wanted to stay and be a part of. It's because of them.
Bill,
Sam Bennett said after he resigned that his agent called him kind of angry after he saw what he said at 11. Did your eyes light up when you saw that video?
No, I thought it was fun. I thought it was awesome. like you know why? Because he was real. I don't know if he was. I don't even know what he was. I wasn't there, but I just, you know what? It's okay. You can joke around. You can have fun. I don't think I ever mentioned it, so it was a non-factor at all. But fun to watch when you see them. Like they must have been having a blast.
Bill, when you look at, like, we can talk about the core and all the guys you have locked up, when you first took this job years ago, sometimes GMs come in and they just tear it down and say, I'm going to build through the draft. But you look at this team, it's, obviously you've used the draft, you used your picks to acquire guys, but for the most part it's built through free agency, waivers, trades. Is this kind of how you always envisioned building this core, or is it just maybe just kind of how things kind of snowballed year over year?
I think when I came in, we had a plan from a pro scouting standpoint, so that's how I would have evaluated the talent here. I kind of thought, yeah, maybe we want to do this and do that. And then the wild card was Sasha. I couldn't have appreciated, and this story is legion, right? The new guys all come and everyone waits, and then they say, can you believe that? Or I can't believe, and you that's a hockey player and a person you cannot appreciate until you have the privilege of being around them. And then from there you could see it. You could see it grow. And I mean, everybody thought Carter Verhaeghe could play. I don't think there was no one in that room, and I joke with the scouts quite a bit. Yeah, you said he was going to score 40 goals? Really? Because we only signed him for 1 or 2 years, right? Why didn't we sign him for 8? So just little examples like that where players got a chance and really did the work themselves. So.
What's any update on Matthew Tkachuk? I know he said it's 50-50, he'll need surgery.
No update.
Speaking of the draft, obviously you got some recent picks out there. Obviously development camp's rolling right now. How different is it when you're welcoming these kids in and they're coming into the building and get back-to-back champs? Do you sense an extra drive, emotion, buzz from the kids? And also this camp in particular, Jared Stahl's running it. How nice is that for him coming off his first year as a head coach and giving Jordy and the guys a little break?
It's fantastic, and you know, Carolina goes all the way. I mean, it's exhausting, and so they get a well-earned and well-deserved break. Stoller gets a great chance to come up and to run this and to get more experience. I think for the kids, that's a good question for them. They may not know, right? Because 2 years in a row now, you do feel a little bit more from the outside watching them, you know, where this is the NHL. But you get that there's a pretty significant degree just on its face. Like if even for me, when I walked into an NHL room the first time, even as a manager, you kind of look around. It's pretty cool. And the one area, I think Sam Reinhart was in here yesterday. Someone told me he was here. So it's nice that the sprinkle of the pros kind of, and Anton was here. And so they came and said hi to the boys, and that was great. And I think the players appreciated that.
You're a big fan of all the teams here in South Florida. What's it like being the new gold standard of South Florida sports?
I have so much to improve on and so much to work. I wouldn't think that. And I've actually now I think that I have to swear my allegiance to the Dolphins, because when we first came, we went and just fell in love with the team, and so I think they're. And to be honest, Chris and I, like, we talk, and our staffs talk, and we do a lot. You know, we share the same medical staffs, and so there's a lot of synergy. And if anyone ever needs help, everyone seems to be ready to pitch in and help. So it's a wonderful community, and we're blessed to have some really nice people who support each other organizationally. We set something up, I think it was 2 years ago, where all the team services people meet 2 or 3 times a year. Just sort of a little best practices, a little bit, do you have an iguana guy? Oh, yeah, we got that. Okay, so, and I've discussed it with Chris a couple times, trying to get all the GMs together, just to have sort of a local community. How can we help each other? It happens via phone calls. I want to get everybody to sit down and be nice.
Did you know Jalen Ramsey was going to the Steelers?
Pardon me?
Did you know Jalen Ramsey?
He was coming here, and then we were going to broker it for a pick.
I don't think it's official yet, but we saw reports that Thomas Nosek was coming back. Not sure if you can comment on that, but
Yeah, we're trying to get it done, and I'm not worried. I don't see really any hiccups. Thomas did a yeoman's work in the playoffs, and if we can get him back, I think everyone would be really happy, and we'd like to keep that line together. We think beyond the individual talents that the sum is greater than the whole of the parts, and yeah, hopefully we can get that done.
I wanted to ask you about keeping them together because I believe it was Joe and Badford posted the 3 of them today on social media, picture of them. Just how fun is it to see that line, it comes together so well?
Well, it's really rewarding, in particular because all 3 of them were healthy scratches at various points during the season, and they stayed with it, and they came through, and they got not only their own games together, but figured out a way to play together, and become a unit, and scored some big goals for us in the playoffs. Gave us really, really important minutes, and I don't think it's stressed enough, and it really shouldn't be discounted. Their ability to play those big minutes, they were out against the big dogs a lot, and they were smart, they were hardworking, they were disciplined, they were poised, and really are as much a part of anything as to why we had some success.
Similarly, acquiring Daniil Tarasov from Columbus, just what did you guys in the front office like about him, and appealed to you about him?
Well, he's an athletic-sized goalie, 6'5", and he's had some experience in the NHL. His pedigree was pretty significant significant when he was drafted. And I got to be honest, I defer it to Lou and the department. They're pretty good, and so they were very high on him. And sometimes a change of scenery helps someone as well. And in this instance, I don't think this really matters. I don't think he's stopping another puck because of it, but it is a nice story. He's from Bob's hometown, and kind of looked up to Bob, and so it's nice. It's nice that he has a relationship, and there's some friends involved, and yeah, very optimistic.
Bill, maybe the only drawback of going 3 straight finals is that you've got 3 very short summers now, back to back to back. How do you manage that? How do you get your break? How does Paul? How do the players? There's just simple fact is there's more miles on your guys than anybody the last 3 years. How do you deal with that?
The honest answer is we don't know, but we're trying. And what we've done is spent a lot of time, even over the course of the last year, thinking, we're not going to sit here and say, well, what if we win it? But if we have a little bit of a run into the playoffs, that the fatigue level long term over time is going to be significant. The team's getting a little bit older in their late 20s. How can we address it? How can we get in front of it? Are there things we can do now? Should we start thinking about making some adaptations to the way we do things? Which is good because at least Paul and I think a lot of sometimes officially, but sort of on a daily basis, a lot of the other folks, we're always thinking, why are we doing this? Well, that's the way we do it, right? Well, that's how we do it. And that doesn't work. We need to be creative and proactive. So we've been working with Dr. McClellan and the sports science guys for some time as to how to make some adaptations. Maybe it's playing time. Maybe it's rest days. You saw us do that a little in the spring before the playoffs. maybe modifying the way we travel. If we have options, could we do game times matter? Do arrival times matter? One that was not used, nor do I think it was accurate. Should we have flown to Chicago on off day one, spent the night, and then flown to Edmonton? I don't know, but let's talk about it. And ultimately, it was a bad idea. But just trying to what if it was a good idea? You know, did you think about it? Like you don't, right? Because you're like, what's easy? What do we do? How do we do it? So that kind of stuff. We're looking at how we do a training camp, and just trying to give the players the best chance, foremost, to be healthy, and then how do we perform and achieve, and how can we modify things to do it.
What are you doing with the cup this year? Last year was a big Milwaukee day.
I think maybe keys, fishing, yeah, low key. No pun intended. I think.
You guys are time for one or two
Huh?
more.
When do you find time to sleep?
I don't. I gotta get some sleep.
How have you seen the perception, since you've taken over since you got here a couple of years ago, how have you seen the perception around the league from players, other executives change about the Panthers organization?
Well, I think players want to come here, and I think three guys yesterday just told. Now it's easy when you're here. We'll see. I suspect today, in about an hour, we're going to get a lot of phone calls. Hey, so and so wants to come, and you know, in the casual discussions you have through the years, a lot of people I think are interested, and I think they see the players having fun and enjoying hockey, and they know how hard they work, and so I think they want to be a part of that.